Yo, bro, I got $500 as my caddy takes you in a 40 roll. I even give you the hit.
Roll racing's for fast cars, but the racetrack, yeah, that's for fast drivers.
Hey guys, you want to check out my new Tesla? It's fast as heck, and I can drive it with my watch. Guys, chill out. Why don't you just put your ego away? You, zip up your pants and put your measuring stick away. We all just need to realize that we all love cars for different reasons, and we all have opinions about that. And actually, we're gonna hit that up at the end of the video. But for now, let's just put all that aside, recognize our shared love for cars and motorsport, and let's just go have some fun. My longtime subscribers have seen me use the Cadillac for drag racing and road course and even autocross. Other subscribers love the Porsche, and they've seen how the GT4 is exactly made for autocross and the track. And so hopefully I've got some new viewers today here just to see the Model 3 Performance, the newest version, the 2025 model, hit the drag strip. So I haven't taken the GT4 out to the drag strip yet. It's been 3 years, and drag racing used to be what I loved. But you know what? Track days, I do like them a little better. But hey, what better than some motivation from a friend with his new car that says, hey, I want to take my car to the drag strip to see how it does. You want to come out? Sure. Finally an opportunity to bring the GT4. We're going to see how they do. Not really against each other because it's not a fair race, but we're just going to go have some fun. So let's go to Sonoma Raceway and do some drag racing. Welcome to Sonoma Raceway. I've been here many times with the Cadillac CTS for drag racing and many times with the Porsche doing the road course. But I'm really excited to be here today finally to do straight line stuff with the Porsche, and so is Vince. He's excited to see if he can hit some of the times that he had seen in the new Model 3 Performance. Now let me remind you, today we're not really racing. There's actually no competition between these two cars. It would probably be a more fair race if I had a GT4 RS, and then it would be fun. Now, if you're not sure if you're seeing one of the new faster Model 3 Performances, you can identify it by these new headlights, new tail lights, rear diffuser, and this badge. It looks like the plaid badge from the Model S, but it's not quite the same, so technically not a plaid. It's also got these new wheels, and you might see them with the covers removed. Despite the numbers that the Tesla website says, this car is actually putting out somewhere closer to 600 horsepower, weighing in about 4,000 pounds. The biggest changes are more power out of the motors, but also the new adaptive dampers on the suspension. Vince wouldn't have bought the old Model 3 because he hated the way it rode. It handled okay, but it was a rough ride, and now that they finally changed that, he jumped on it right away. Although heavier than the GT4 with the extra power, the low center of gravity, and power going to all four wheels instantaneously, you'll see that the new Model 3 Performance lays down some pretty good lap times at the track and will be very competitive at autocross. I think some Porsche owners may have a hard time keeping up. But this is a drag race video, so we're going to focus on that metric. Here at Sonoma Raceway's Wednesday night drags, there's always a lot of people, so we really only got 3 good runs in. My GT4 is basically stock except for over axle pipes, which may be good for 7 horsepower, and I'm running my 19-inch track wheels, so that helps a tiny bit, and it's got that sticky rubber, very similar to the stock tires that come on the car. These Nankang CRS tires will always grip better with some heat in them, but it's hard to do a burnout in a PDK car. I have done it before in a safe place, but it's tough to do right, and I didn't really feel safe doing a good job here, so you'll see me attempt it with little good luck. But at least I cleaned off the tires. Launching the Model 3 Performance is easy as can be. All you gotta do is step on that go pedal and let her rip. But in the GT4, there are a few more steps, yet one of the easiest in the ICE car world. Just hit the PDK Sport button, mash the brake, mash the gas, and let go of that brake and hang on. Alright, here we go, lining up the GT4 and the new Model 3 Performance. I was a little late to getting my launch control going, and Vince was able to get me at the light. But it didn't matter much because he ran away pretty damn quick. All right, so Vince and I just finished our first drag race together, and it couldn't have been more equal of a start. We both got, I'm gonna put the paper on the screen here for you, but we both got the same exact 60 foot. How the hell does that happen? Super rare, 1.729. Damn, great launch, Vince.
I'm surprised that you were able to do that. I kind of figured that I'd take you there.
I know.
I kind of figured it'd be you'd catch up towards the end, and
yeah,
I'd beat you at the very beginning.
But it was already way over at the 8th mile. What is that? It looks like by half a second, and then and of course 7 miles an hour or so. And then in the end, I ran 11.9, which was better than I was expecting today at 115-ish, and he ran 11.09 at 121.7. That's pretty awesome. And this car is way faster than the previous Model 3 performance. You think you can pull off a 10 today?
If you were driving.
If I'm driving, because apparently I'm a little lighter, but you know,
apparently.
Eat your spinach, kids. All right, so let's see how the rest of the night goes and see if we can get a 10 in there somewhere. In the words of Matt Watson from CarWow, what exactly happened? Well, the Porsche ran the quarter mile at 11.89 at 115, and the Tesla 11.11 at 121. Here's the first time slip for comparison. I was really surprised with the consistency of the Porsche, not surprised the Tesla laid down the exact same time. We understand that it can lay down these times until about 50 to 60% battery life. Again, our 60 foots were within 1/100th of each other. I'm guessing this is just the limit of traction at the track this day. So now Vince and I are going to swap cars and see if there's any difference for our last run of the night. Besides swapping cars, I'm also going to give the Porsche a 3/4 second jump start. I really want to see what the picture looks like at the top end as the Tesla catches up with the Porsche. On this run, unfortunately, Vince was only able to get a 12.345 out of the GT4 with 114 miles an hour. This may be because he didn't clean off the tires and he had some wheel spin shown in the 60 foot with only a 2.084. The Tesla ripped off another consistent time, running 11.123 at 122 miles an hour, a little higher than mile per hour, maybe because of the reduced weight. My delay in chasing him down worked out. I showed up at the line 0.05 seconds before him. One more thing I wanted to nerd out on was the acceleration rates of the two cars throughout the run. Here we used draggy, and the orange line is the acceleration rate. I'll change the Teslas to purple so we can lay them on top of each other and see the difference. Clearly, the Tesla puts down all of its power and acceleration right away and holds it a little longer than the Porsche can. But approaching the 8th mile point, they continue to have a similar acceleration rate throughout the run, which tells me that the 60 to 130 times of the two cars actually may be similar, which certainly wouldn't have been the case with the old Model 3. In fact, the old Model 3 could only do about an 11.11 60 to 130 time, and the new one, 8.49 according to Learning Fast YouTube channel. He covers the Model 3 in depth in drag racing, so if you'd like to nerd out on that kind of stuff, this episode's for you. Link in the corner and the description below. I've never tested the 60 to 130 time in the GT4, but reports are that it's right around the 8-second mark. Oh, and I know someone's gonna ask, if you didn't notice on the draggy slips, the Porsche did a 0 to 60 time of 3.75. That's actually about 3.56 with a 1 foot rollout, and the Tesla did it in 3.08. That's a sub 3 second 0 to 60 with the 1 foot rollout removed. And folks, this is not the fastest you'll see a Model 3 performance go. In fact, at the drag strip that day, just a few cars behind us, we met Tim with his ZEV-centric new Model 3 performance. You may have heard of his car or ZEV-centric. They have lots of mods for your Teslas and Rivians. Tim had his buddy Craig driving with 18-inch wheels, 200 treadwear tires, and preheating the battery, a little trick we didn't know about. They were able to rip off a 10.948 at 124 miles an hour. Check out Tim's YouTube channel and Instagram. What I like about what Tim's doing is he also goes to the track with his car. In fact, check out this video where he lays down a 1 minute 40-second lap at Laguna Seca. Nice job, Tim, and thank you, Tim, for all of the external footage and photos of our cars today.
Well, I gotta say, Vince and I both left the drag strip with big smiles on our faces. We had a great time. Afterward, we went and had some beers and some food, and we couldn't stop talking about how the night went. The fact is, drag racing does require less skill in an electric car or even this car with launch control, but it can still be fun. It's a short little period of fun and adrenaline, but go do it. You go play mini golf, it seems silly, right? But in the end, it's fun. I've never seen anybody leave the drag strip with a frown. As far as skills go, remember the roots of drag racing. It came at a time when there was no technology and it took a lot more human to get the max performance out of a car. That's why you still see those guys with their classic cars out there hitting up the drag strip, using some really amazing skills. And when it comes to competing, it doesn't matter if you're driving that 67 Chevelle or a Tesla, you don't have reaction time skills. That could make or break your bracket race. When it comes to electric cars, you guys, I know there's a lot of fighting about it. I think you need to keep an open mind and remember that not every person driving an electric car thinks they're saving the world. We all know there's pluses and minuses to electric cars, just as there are with ICE cars. And the Tesla Model 3 is proving to be really the best bang for the buck. And Vince and I have talked a lot about this. In the circle of all the things that a car can do for the price point, the Model 3 is pretty good bang for the buck. Incredible straight line performance, great handling. It classes in the same class as the GT4 in SCCA, if I remember correctly. It can turn some great lap times, although it does have to stop to charge after a few of those. It carries the groceries. Your grandma can drive it. It's quiet, it's smooth, it's got technology. It does a lot of things, and I encourage you to try to find a car that could do all those things and meet those parameters. You'll have a tough time finding one. But you might say, I don't want to drive an electric car. Well, don't drive an electric car, and don't worry about somebody taking away your ICE cars one day. You saw those guys at the drag strip driving their 1950s, 60s polluting cars on the road and still having fun at the drag strip. No one's going to take away your car. They haven't taken away the horse and buggy. My big point is, have a wider view of the other. There's pluses and minuses to electric cars and gas cars, and don't think that every electric car owner doesn't realize that. Like, they do. They know that their road trips are going to take longer, but they take that with the plus of an easier, more efficient, quieter commute. And don't think that ICE car owners, don't realize that, yes, pollution is a thing that they do. Go put your mouth to an exhaust pipe and tell me that's not a thing. For now, just pick your own joy in your own poison and let the other person do that too. Do you see baseball players getting mad at tennis players for what they do? Who cares? Just drive your cars, people. Find the joy and learn to appreciate what other people find joy in. All right, go ahead and hit that like button, consider subscribing, and maybe hit the bell to be notified of all kinds of car content, apparently. Thanks so much for watching the Jeff Yolin channel. We'll see you next time.